Hello, thanks for joining me. This is Dobbies Loan Depot. This is the model railway belonging to myself, which I'm working on just now. Hopefully this is a trial for now. I'm starting to do these YouTube videos to show the progress of it. I hope it might interest some of you. I have got a lot of great support so far from the Facebook page. Thanks very much for that. We have 430 likes. If you go to facebook.com and type in Dobbies Loan TMD, you should get it. So it's a double O gauge model railway. Now I'm not discontinuing the Facebook page. The Facebook page is just really there like this to document the progress of the layout and hopefully give other people some ideas. Hopefully allowing me to share ideas with others. And I'll just turn the camera around a little bit. It's a fairly small layout. So this is the first time the depot has been, as I'll often affectionately call it, has been brought to video. There's a lot more options of showing on YouTube as opposed to just showing on Facebook. But yeah, 430 likes on Facebook, thanks very much guys. So this is just a trial, I don't know how long it's going to go on for. But yeah, we're now on YouTube, and long may it continue. The whole YouTube series of the model railway, it's just a trial thing at the moment. I'll see how I get on with it, see if people are interested. Hopefully will be, and hopefully I can pass on ideas and stuff. I still think myself fairly novice railway modeller, but it will also help me hopefully learn things from other folks with some amazing layouts on YouTube, and which I've already talked about anyway. But so this is where it all started, for just letting people see the layout. Now the model railway is just for me, it's just for fun. I've not even planned to do it in, with the intention of taking it to exhibitions or anything like that. If I can do that, that's a bonus. It's a portable layout, but the whole idea is just for fun, and it's so easy to get onto social media, to get onto the internet these days, to display photographs, videos. So I thought it was a good idea. I think that's over a year we've been doing the Facebook. In fact, well, a year and 3 months, year and 4 months. Now, a big question here is why? Why does Dobbies Loan Depot exist? Why are we making videos about it? Why do we even bother with model railways at all? It's a huge. It's very expensive now, but it's a very, very popular hobby in the UK. And for me, I just find it an extremely relaxing thing to do. I find the beauty about model railways is when you're working your layout or running your layout, you can just transport yourself, immerse yourself into the working of the layout and forget about what's going on in the real world. You've got the real world and you've got the pretend world, which is this. And running the layout for a couple hours, it can just be so relaxing. So other people have different reasons why they do it. That's why I do it, that's what I've always been doing. I have my mum and dad to thank a lot for, where I am with it all. And yeah, and that is the main reason that I built this layout. It's built pretty much for my own enjoyment. The Facebook was an afterthought, the same as this is an afterthought. It's just like I said, it's a kind of natural evolution of building the layout, and the Facebook page actually done better than I thought it would. So yeah, I hope you do find all this quite interesting. So I'm going to tell you shortly just a bit more about the layout. So let's go a bit further into this pretend world of ours, of this model railway, and I'll tell you a bit about the building of it, etc. Now, so this shot's just going to show you the full length of the layout. So it's not very big at all. It's double O gauge. I have used N gauge in the past, which is the ultimate space saver, because it's about half the size of the double O gauge seen here. Double O gauge is the most popular model railway scale. You'll see a lot of great videos on YouTube, and I get very much inspired. There's a lot of absolutely amazing layouts on YouTube. Now it measures 6 foot by 2 foot approximately. This is chipboard, I believe. I don't really know a lot about baseboards. Now I'll just lower this down a little bit. Now you'll see it's supported by a couple of trestles. Now this is something that has been a bit of a cause of concern to me recently. I think we need a bit more support in the layout. It's just simply the board on a couple of trestles, and I only recently sort of learned a bit about bracing and support for the layout. at this stage what I might just do for now is get a third trestle and put it in the middle here somewhere, just to give that extra support, because I think it's now actually been in this position supporting the trestles for over a year, a good bit over a year, and I'm feeling it's maybe a bit too late to try and add, you know, extra bits of wood. I'm just going to see how I go on adding the third trestle, and hopefully it's okay. So it isn't a particularly big layout. Just raise this a bit further up. These trestles, they're fantastic though, because they are height adjustable and they're easy to put together. I got them out of Screwfix, I think. And yeah, so you'll see it's quite bare looking at this side of the layout, and that's largely the fiddle yard. And over there is the scenic section. It's a bit out of focus, it's just simply the kind of camera I'm using. There's a few compromising to be made now. And yes, this is my bedroom, and this, you know, is just going to be a temporary home. The part of the idea is just for the layout to be portable. That's why it's not properly fixed. It's simply just sitting on top of the two trestles here, the two metal trestles. And this is its temporary home. Out of it, we actually live in a flat here, and it's really the only place it could be, the only place there's room for it. So it can be moved. I've not tried moving elsewhere in the flat just yet, and eventually, you know, I move somewhere else, it should be relatively easy to take it, hopefully. Hopefully by now I'm getting a little better at all this. I'm not too used to filming myself commentating on camera, so you'll probably find as it goes on, future videos I'll get a bit more fluid at this and sound a bit better, so I'm just still getting started. You should have seen the amount of takes we took to do the first couple of shots. I'm getting into it a bit more now. So anyway, so this is the bare part, is the fiddle yard. Now you'll see, well, you probably won't be able to see from right here, but this is code 100 track. It is largely Pico track. There's one or two bits of Hornby as well, mostly set track. There is, if we go into the scenic section here, we've used a bit of flexi track. These are the two Goodyard's reception sidings on the far right. You can differentiate them with the brown coloured ballast you'll see there, whereas the depot here is mostly grey, which is generally the colour it would be in reality. Just, you know, looking at photographs of real railway depots. So I'll go back to the fiddle yard. So a fiddle yard, for those who don't know, is pretty much a hidden section of a layout where the operator will control it from and marshal the trains together and basically run them onto the scenic section. Is, if you go to a model railway exhibition, that's where the public is going to be viewing it from. That's the part of the layout you want the public to see. And so what I've done, I've hidden the fiddle yard with a bridge. Now this section isn't really properly cut off. There's going to be, around here, there's going to be another background put up. So I've done it, I think, slightly different to the norm with these kind of depot layouts by having these kind of longer sidings down the front. So they've got kind of put in the back burner for now. I've laid the tracks down there, laid a few, mostly to just try out a few bits of scatter. I'm just going to change this to manual focus to see if I can get in focus a bit better for you. Yeah, trialling various techniques, putting a bit of rust in the rails, but they're generally getting put on the back burner for now. Now the nearest track, that's actually, it's not, there's no power connected to it, it's just a kind of dummy track. I've simply laid that just for laying stock down to display. Now this is withdrawn. It's meant to be a lot of depots had condemned locomotives awaiting scrap or awaiting a trip to the work. So that's a class 47 that's seen better days, obviously. So here's a closer view of our withdrawn 47 and the aforementioned non-powered section of track at the front here. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix the focus. Put her back onto manual focus. Yeah, so all parts of the layout, they are powered and connected to the two controls you'll see, apart from the line in the foreground, which is gonna, by the time I'm finished with it, is gonna be a lot more rusty and decrepit looking, some more weeds around. If you look at real photographs of real railway depots, there's always a lot of
you know, these sidings at the back, they weren't really used for anything, just, you know, storing of stock, and were a bit uncared for. So just to make it realistic, I decided it'd be good to have one or two sidings like that. So this is just simply a long section of track. You see it comes with the buffer stop here. And what I intend to do is eventually show a few various old disused locomotives, wagons, a breakdown crane, departmental vehicles, which it'll be just a gradual work in progress, probably going to take me years. But one of the things that attracted me to doing a depot layout is it's not all about what you run, it's about display as well. And I figured it's nice to be able to just, you know, show various locomotives just kind of sitting on the depot, because if you visit a lot of railway depots, there's often not a lot happening. You just see locomotives and, you know, various passenger and goods vehicles just sitting stationary because they're depots, they're for maintenance, so there wasn't always a lot of movement. So even for a lot of the older locos we have, it's more like a diorama to view them on. The class 37 nearest the camera is a Lima locomotive, for example. So me and my father have got a lot of the older locomotives which don't run quite so well, but even so, it's nice to have a small layout just to have a background for them, because they do look good if you put enough work into them. Hopefully I'll get more of them running better once I'm getting into a long program, which is going to take quite a long while, you know, cleaning the wheels of a lot of the older locos. But the rest of the locomotives you can see here are you know, pretty good runners. These are all a mixture of Bachmann and Hornby locomotives. So let's go back to the fiddle yard just a second. So this is our two controllers. So this is like the crow's nest up the back here where it all gets controlled from. This is our Bachmann controller, which this is essentially the depot controller. So now I'll need to put in a buffer stop here. Zoom in a bit. We'll have a look down the line. So yeah, this is the depot approach road, and this is completely independent of the other line, which is the goods yard reception roads. So they aren't linked at all. I use a completely separate controller. This is our Gauge Master combi controller, probably the better of the two. It's really lightweight and it's fantastic for slow speed control. We need a lot of that because it's a depot layout. You're not going to see a lot of things moving at high speeds. So that is the goods yard sidings. They're not connected, they just go right up to the end here where we have a background. The depot approach road here, you'll see that leads to a various sprawl of sidings, and the far end here, which is the fueling point, the locos can reverse and go down this way. Now over here is a Hornby power track, so that means the depot controller, we can remove the wires and plug it in there, and that allows locos doing reverse movements from down the end here down onto this line from the fueling point. And you'll see here this is an isolating section with a few of these. So because with two controllers, this allows simultaneous movements. One locomotive moving in one line, one in the other. Now it's not a DCC layout like most layouts are these days. I've tried to keep, one of my ideas about model railways for me is they should be kept fairly simple. The more simple it is, the less there is to go wrong. And like I said, it's really just there for now. It's really just for my own enjoyment, so I'm happy enough. Using a couple of quite basic controllers, flicking the points by hand, so no electric point motors here. It's all done by the big hand of God reaching down. Here's another down here. There we go, quick and easy, no problems. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's fairly basic. it works for me though, and that's the main thing. There's a few sections of track here actually aren't glued down. All the track in the scenic area is glued down. It has cork underlay to deaden the sound, but it's glued down. I've not used track pins or anything like that. It's code 100 track, I think I might mention that, mostly Pico. If you look at the... Now I'll do this in another shot just to...
Now this is probably my favourite view of the whole layout. This is from the crow's nest where we control it all. Bridge in front. So this gives you a more scenic view of the layout. The lights in a better position here. Actually the lights, you can see the light coming through the window there, starting to die down now. We're getting towards dusk. I intended to do this earlier when the lighting conditions are at their best, because probably the way the sun turns round during the day, it's during the morning when the light comes through my bedroom window here, we would get the best filming, but I've been very busy and it's not really got down to shooting at the right time. But I'm quite pleased with what I've done with the backgrounds here. They're actually not fully fixed into place. So you'll see here, going back to what we're talking about, you can actually see a couple of real gentle curves, which is our Pico Flexi track on the right there, our two goods yard roads, the first and second from the right, and then the third from the right is a depot road, which I've also used Flexi track, but apart from that it's all good old Pico set track. Now the points are, they're medium radius mostly. I think they're all medium radius. So Pico do small, medium and large radius. I felt the medium radius ones are the best in terms of, if they were the small radius ones, they would have looked too small and sharp and not realistic enough. The large ones, there just wasn't enough space for that. I think looking at photographs of real depots, you do see actually a lot of real sharp turnouts, so I'm pretty pleased with how it's come out. Now it is a small layout, and you'll see there's just this big solid background right at the back here. So like I said, it's not fully fixed into place. You'll see there's a wee gap, there's a couple of bits where you can see the joins in the back scenes. So an important thing to stress right now, guys, is that the layout is far from finished. There's a lot of work still to be done. Now this embankment only went down recently, so that's using a couple of really good scatter mats from the company Notch. I think they're German, and yeah, I'm going to be at probably the next big thing I'm going to do is add a security fence up the back of it there. I'm quite pleased with the backgrounds. The backgrounds were the actual photographs were reproduced by a company just across the road from me, real cheap, just using photographs I took with this very camera that I'm using right now, a digital SLR, and they're just JPEGs that I've got this company along the road to print. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with how they've turned out. So these are real life landmarks. We'll go into that a little later, because I'm going to do another video just on the history of the layout. Now it's all quiet just now. Shortly I'm going to put on our little sound system to bring it to life a little bit. But yeah, one of the principles about this layout is it's all about illusion. So this is not meant to be a whole depot. This is maybe just part of a depot. Now this is just meant to be part of a shed. This is just meant to be the front, the entrance to the diesel shed. So it's a 3-road shed. On the left there is an older stone building. So the actual depot building is a composite of the older stone building on the left, a steam era one, and a more modern metal building, which is the 2-road shed on the right. So they're kind of joined together. So that's why I've just got the sort of front. It's a great technique I've seen used in various other layouts. Now my battery's just about to run out, so give me 2 seconds.